全部回ってます。はい。じゃあ、角田さん、じゃあ、会見始めますので、よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the online version of the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan. This is the latest in our series of online press conferences to dealing with the COVID-19 crisis. We are social distancing, as you can see. I have beside me here my co-chair of the FCCJ PAC committee, Teddy Jimbo, and we have our very capable interpreter today over here, another 2 meters away, Mary Joyce. Now today, before we start the press conference, just let me remind you of the rules. We have prioritized our registered reporters for questions. First of all, we have to do that. But what we will do is we will allow other questions as they come in. And I'm going to show you the email address, which is now on your screen. So if, as the press conference progresses, you wish to ask a question, you can send to that email address and it will be forwarded to me and Teddy here on the front table. By the way, I should have introduced myself. My apologies. My name is usually here. My name is David McNeil. Today's speaker is Toru Kakuta. He is a doctor and the vice president of the Tokyo Medical Association. Just to explain, throughout the COVID-19 crisis, the TMA, the Tokyo Medical Association, has been ahead of the national government and has sometimes been critical of its handling of the epidemic. The day before Prime Minister Shinzo Abe declared a state of emergency in early April, the association declared its medical emergency. Its president, Haruo Osaki, said, ideally, the country would have been prepared for this situation, but it's too late for that discussion. We have nothing left to do now but to work together and fight back. The association has launched its own testing sites in Tokyo. That is addressing widespread criticism, which I'm sure everybody will know, that Japan has tested too few people. This move is a departure from the national government's approach, or was a departure from their approach of focusing on clusters and snuffing them out. We have Kakuta Sensei. He is a physician himself, so he is in a good position to discuss what's going on. He's agreed to talk to us today very kindly. He's on your screen now. Hi there, Kakuta Sensei. How are you?
Hi, thank you. You?
Never better. Thank you so much. He is going to show a slideshow, which we estimate will take about 25 to 30 minutes, and then we will open up to questions and answers. So please give him the best of your attention. I think that's it, Teddy?
Yeah. Yes. And he's going to speak in English first?
Kakuta Sensei is going to speak in English, but as I said, we have Mary if he slips into Japanese or if he feels more comfortable. Sensei, yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kakuta, and thank you, Chair. And first of all, I have a special thanks to you to have such a chance to speak about COVID-19 in Tokyo. Okay, so the first slide, please. Okay, you can see the first slide. Okay, what should we do and what should we be COVID-19 in Tokyo? Next slide, please. Okay, this is the total confirmed COVID-19 deaths versus cases April 28, 2020. So you can see the Japan in the half of the Milky Way, the red marked here. We have the 426 deaths. Infectious case is over 14 cases. So our mortality rate is 2.9, and Tokyo is the same, 112 deaths and 4,000 over the cases. Mortality is 2.8. Please see below that the forward mortality is a 6.9 over about 7, and especially France, Italy, United Kingdom is a high rate, about 14%, and Germany is a very lower percent, so 3.9%, and the USA and China is about 5.5 or 5.7%. Next slide. So this is total confirmed COVID-19 cases. How rapid are they increasing? You can see the Japan, the half of this. So it seems like the shallow curve, but Japan is our nation has about such a 12 million nation, and the COVID positive patient is 15,000 over. So we have the infectious rate is 0.012, but the Tokyo is about 2.5 times of the average of Japan, about 0.029, 0.03% of. So confirmed for COVID-19 cases for April 28th. Next slide, please. So this is the COVID-19 test per 1,000 people. The COVID-19 test, it means PCR, polymerase chain reaction. So you can see the Italy is a very top, about 30 per 1,000. Then the next is the United States, and South Korea, and Turkey. And you can see the right bottom, the asterisk. Asterisk means the Tokyo's data. Now Tokyo is 10 over the 10,000 cases, but our population is about 14 million. So we have 0.79 thousand people. Next slide, please. So the other hand, the number of the COVID-19 tests per confirmed case April 26. So it shows some country has rare cases in COVID-19 and have many examination also higher. So Vietnam is about they can find one COVID cases per about 780. Oh, the previous slide, please. Yeah, that's right. The Japan is half of this, middle of this, about 11.4 examination, and we can see the one case is COVID-19. So please look at the right side of this. So Japan, the PCR is 13 over the 13 cases positive, but so the PCR is performed about 150,000 cases. So we can check the infectious cases about 8.9% per all examination. So, and then please show below that in the Tokyo, the PCR positive about 4,000 over, and the cases about 10,000 over. So now we have the infectious rate about 37%. It's very high rate. And the confirmed COVID-19 test per confirmed cases is 2.7. This is the real world. Next slide, please. Okay. This is the Japanese criteria to have the examination of the PCR or go to the clinic. When my governors reviewed this criteria, there is no family doctor. You can see the family doctor of the right of the right side. So we recognize the role of the family doctor. So we add the family doctor's role in this criteria. So this is my criteria of medical association. And please, it's a busy slide, I'm sorry. So the a person who has a fever over the 37.5 and 4 days, please call to family doctor. But if you have some another symptom, please call more earlier. And another side, so feel anxious about the no symptom, please call to our home doctor, or please call to COVID call center. And we check his or her symptom and the status. We recommend it to come to our clinic and we check it. And if it's necessary, we introduce to the COVID center, where the PCR examination is done. And so, please, next slide, please. Next, please. Okay. The basic policy for infection disease pandemic. Please look at the center. So the red line is the no measures. The vertical line is the number of the patient. The horizontal line is the days. If we have not measures, the red line is so going up steep, and the peak is over the capacity of the medical service system. And so at that time, we lost many lives, which we can save. So we have a measure. If we have some measure, effective measure, blue line, please show. Please see a blue line. With measure the peak, we should have the delayed peak of the pandemic, and we should decrease number of the peak patients. So the peak of the blue line is within the capacity of the medical service system. So we can manage, we can do that, many things to patients. Okay, next slide. Now, this is in Tokyo, April 28th, the PCR test positive patients have over the 4,000. And in hospital, about the 2.7 thousand. That mild or moderate is 2,050, and severe cases is 105. So you know that severe cases more rare, small rate in Tokyo. But in this diagnosis is as a hospitalization. So we don't know after the hospitalization the death. And now we have the death and 108. So, but please look at this discharge. So out of the hospital is 1,200 over. Which they are well. About the 30% of positive infectious patients. Next slide, please. Okay. Also, okay, this is our Tokyo Medical Association. So we have the Regional Medical Association. It is the center of the metropolitan and the west side of the metropolitan named Tama area. So in the center of the Tokyo, we have a 31 medical association, and in Tama area we have a 16 medical association, and we have a university of 13 university in Tokyo, and 12 of that have has a medical association, and another medical association is the Metropolitan Hospital Medical Association. It consists with the 8 hospitals. So total is 60 medical association is consistent with us, and number is 20,000 and over the 50. And A member is the president of the clinical hospital, and B member is the staff physician, and the university member is they are doctor in university. So then we have a medical facility and over the 10,000 clinics and 650 hospitals. In Japan, And the hospital, that 70% of the hospital is private, and 80% of the hospital is a small or medium size. It's a specific in Japan's medical system. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, small. I'm sorry, it's very small figure. The upper of this is so we have beds in Tokyo, and general bed is total of over the 100,000, and long-term bed about the 3,000, and then we classified these beds in 4 criteria: severe acute, is ICU, same that, 22,000 beds, and acute bed is over the 44,000, and the recovery is 12,000, and the chronic in the 22,000 beds here. But we have anxious of ICU beds. Please show and the part. So this is ICU beds per 100 people. United States has 35 beds, and Germany has about 30, and France, Italy, Spain, and over the 10 beds per 100 people. But now, Japan, we have only 5 beds per 100 people. Please, next slide, please. Okay. So this is the flow of the regional PCR center, or the role of home doctor. The patient who has some symptom, who has some anxious, call to the home doctor, and the home doctor decide this is no need medical examination or need medical examination. And if he decide he needs medical examination, please come to my clinic. So temporary special separation, or the wear mask. We recommended the wear mask. So we checked him, the consultation, and the medical examination. There is so common about respiratory infection. We gave some medication, and at home, and observe the condition. But it is some possibility of the pneumonia. We check, and just export, and white blood cell, and the CRP is an indicator of the information. And if these results revealed to the common pneumonia, we treat it. But if there is some viral pneumonia, we recommended to go to the PCR center. And the PCR center is now 12 center in Tokyo. There is a 78. So before this, so Tokyo has 77 PCR center. It's a corona hospital, but there are overflow in those center with patients gathering here. So we should make this medical association PCR center. Now we are 12, and perhaps 47 PCR center will be erected in all Tokyo. Okay, next slide, please. So the patient has a PCR in the PCR center, so they must wait at home, and the result of PCR will return to the next days, and the home doctor, we call kakaritsuke in Japan. So home doctor tell to the patient, and you are positive, you're negative. If negative, please stay home for 1 week. But attention for shoot negative, about 20 or 30% is shoot negative is there. And if he or she has positive PCR, so he or she should be go to the hospital But now bed is about 80% occupied. So the second choice is the hotel or something like that. Hospital and hotel is almost full. So they stay at home about 2 weeks. But we check every day their condition, and if there are any evidence to have the pneumonia or severe status, we call to the public health center, and we collaborated the public health center, and the patient should be go to the hospital. So it's the role of the home doctor is very important. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, that's the effects of the self-restraint scenario. And the vertical line is a new number of the new COVID numbers, and the horizontal line the dates. If you keep 80% reduction in your activity, the blue line is result, and the first blue line is the date of infection and the report. So that that the result effect will be occur after the 2 weeks. So days of report is 2 weeks later. So if please keep 80% reduction, and we must should be that this blue line. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, this is so effect of that. One effect of that. So change of the subway passengers in Tokyo. The lower portion, please. The self-restraint request by Tokyo government Koike about the so March 30, and so this graph is going down in the compared with the January. So, and the second red mark is the Prime Minister Abe's emergency declaration. About the 70% decrease compared with the January. I think it's very effective. I think. Please, next slide. Okay. Okay, this is the number of the positive test daily. The Tokyo so the emergency declaration is a lower part of the black sign. So the new cases is gradually decreased. We hope that it's the result of the declaration. Okay, next slide, please. All right. So this is some poster pamphlets we made to the Tokyo Metropolitan. Please keep 8 items there. This and wash your hand, mask, and having mild symptoms. Please stay home. And if you have some anxious, call to doctor. And not gathering or not crowded. And no smoking. Smoking is the smoke is a risk factor of the getting worse in COVID-19. So the mortality rate is up about 3.2 times. And circulate air in the room, and please eat healthy, exercise, and sleep well. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the last slide. So this is about our last message. Please stay home, and please stay positive, and please stay active. And we do everything with my powers, and please go with us, and we want to overcome to the COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Well, we have some questions lined up. Some people lined up to ask you questions. Let me take the first one. We recently passed 3 million infections worldwide. Japan has something like 14,000 of those. What are we missing?
ではここから日本語の通訳も入れます。必要とになりますが、まず最初の質問が今、世界中での感染者数が300万を超えたということなんですけれど、そのうちの1万4000ぐらいが日本で報告されているということです。日本で何が欠けているのか、日本は何が違うのかということについて教えてください。
じゃあ、日本語でいいでしょうかね。
はい、お願いします。
In Japanese. そう、例えば慶応大学のデータ、少ない60人ぐらいのデータですけど、COVID-19 じゃない患者さんを調べたときに 6% の陽性率でした。
So first of all, if we look at, for example, some recent data from Keio University, well, it was a small number of people that was looked at, but there were around 60 patients who were not COVID-19 patients, but who had PCR tests conducted, and it was found that actually around 6% of them were indeed positive.
それで、その値というのは、私どもやっぱり市中の感染率をある意味表しているというふうに思っております。
And we believe that this does give an indication of the overall number of cases within the community in Japan, most likely.
あと、ちょっとちっちゃな別のデータですけど、実は医師の間で、検査したときに、これはまだあまり公にしてないんですが、その12、3% の感染率っていう実は抗体検査ですけど、データもあります。
And we also have some recent numbers which haven't yet been so made public because they are still based on very small figures. But based on antibody tests, there is also some recent data which shows that the number of infections could be around 12 to 13%.
で、もともと先ほどお示ししたように、その PCR 検査自体が非常に高額だし手間もかかる。で、また日本は韓国ほどのその準備も多分してなかったので、ある程度クラスターを発見ちゃんとすると。で、当初これはクラスターによる感染形態ですから、しっかりとクラスターを抑えれば可能だということで、ああいうふうな先ほどのPCR に持っていくところのクライテリアができたわけです。
And so, well, originally, of course, there is a situation in Japan where the overall number of PCR tests which are being conducted is less. Perhaps the preparation was not done in Japan in comparison to other countries to ensure the high number of testing. Therefore, the approach from, first of all, in Japan was to look at detecting clusters and approaching according to these clusters as well. That did mean that it was rather possible in the early days. However, we're now shifting to having to implement more PCR testing.
So to interpret what you're saying, you seem to be saying that the number that we have now is an underestimate. You think that the actual numbers are higher in Japan?
ということは、今、日本で報告されている、確認というふうにされている数よりも、実際の数が本当はもっと高いというふうに解釈すればよろしいでしょうか。
はい、これは他の国も多分同じだと思います。30% は症状のない感染者がいますから。だけど、日本で報告されているはるかに多い感染者がいるはずです。
Yes, that's right. I believe that this is the case in Japan and also for other countries as well. It is thought that around 30% of all COVID-19 cases are indeed asymptomatic. But I believe that the number of cases, the actual cases in Japan is very much higher than the number which have actually been confirmed.
Thank you. Teddy?
それで、ちょっと先ほどの、いいですか。先ほど武漢からの第1波の感染に関しては、その日本のPCR の方法で抑え込むことができました。ただ、欧米とか外国から入ってきて感染している今の第2波については、やっぱりちょっと今の絞った PCR の検査では、もうクラスター感染を抑えるだけでは間に合いませんので、やはり広く PCR ができるという体制が必要だと思います。
And to add on, I think that the first wave of cases which was being seen in Japan, which were coming from Wuhan in China, it was able to be dealt with from this cluster approach by this very limited PCR testing as well. However, the second wave, where we are seeing the infections contagion from other countries from Europe and so on, it would not be enough and it would not be in time to continue just with this limited PCR testing and this cluster approach. Therefore, what is needed now in this next wave is to very much more expand the PCR testing.
Thank you. Teddy?
Yes, I'm going to ask questions in Japanese and have Mary translate it. 角田先生、すいません、神保です。先生、先ほど日本語で質問します。先生、先ほど
ありがたいです。はい。
ICU のですね、日本のベッド数が非常に少ない、パワーポピュレーションで言うと非常に少ないと、それでイタリアの半分しかなくて、ドイツなんかからはるかに少ないというお話を伺ったんですが、同時にですね、 これはまあ、おそらく日本の厚労省の ICU の認可を受けた、ICU として認可を、集中治療室として認可を受けた、その、まあ、病床数ということだと思うんですが、実際はかなりそれは、まあ、他国に比べても厳しいんじゃないかという指摘も聞きますので、先生に伺いたかったのは、じゃあまあ、その法律上の定義で ICU っていうとこういうことになるけれども、実際にその生命維持装置、まあその、人工呼吸器とかそういうものをちゃんとその備えた、まあ今回のその新型コロナに対応できるような ICU、もしくは ICU に準ずるその、役割を果たせる病床数ということにしたときに、本当に日本は、先ほどのリストにあったような国々よりもですね、本当にそこまで決定的に少ない、非常に危うい状況が本当にあるのかどうか、それともまあ厚労省の基準というのが、結構厳しいので、そういうふうにデータ的にはそうなるけれども、数は、かなり実際はあるのかっていうところをちょっと実際の話をお伺いしたいんですけども。Mary, please.
So to translate the question, in the presentation, we saw the number of ICU beds in Japan was very much lower than that in other countries. For example, around half of those in Italy or many less in Germany and so on as well. However, it could be said that this number is referring to those ICU beds which have been actually licensed by the Japanese Ministry of Health officially as ICU beds. And it is thought that this system is quite a tight licensing system as well. Therefore, in actuality, the number of beds which have the equivalent facilities to an ICU bed, which could deal with COVID-19 patients, for example, those which are equipped with ventilators and so on, is actually or could be thought of as being higher than what is shown in these actual official or legal figures. Therefore, I'd like to ask, other than this legal data, if the situation really for equivalent ICU beds in Japan is in fact on this definitively low or dangerous scale. お願いします。
はい、とても重要な質問だと思います。おっしゃる通り、これはまあ、認可上の ICU がこのぐらいの数なはずです。実はちょっと2番目の質問のお答えする形にもなりますけれども、東京でにおける人工呼吸器の数、これちょっと2月の末の段階のデータなんですけど、大体3100台ぐらいあるんですね。でそのうち使われているのが1800という、1800以上という6割は使われていません。で逆に ICU でなくてもちゃんとしっかりと呼吸管理はできます。それと、エクモ、これはまあ、日本では1500台ぐらいのエクモがあるんですけど、東京だけで実は200台ぐらいあるんですよ。で、そのうち使われてないのが170台その時点であります。ですからかなり余裕があるので、これら全部が ICU で使うというよりは、そういった ICU 管理、相当の管理ができる一般病棟、これはいくらでもありますから、おっしゃる通り、この数字だけを見て、ICU がないから大変だっていうことではない。あともう一点、さっきちょっと東京の。
That's a very important question. As you have mentioned, indeed, the figures which are shown in the data in the slide is showing the licensed ICUs, but indeed the number overall of beds in Japan and in Tokyo which have equivalent facilities could be said to be rather different. It brings into the second part of your question, but the figures as of around the end of February for the number of ventilators which were available in Tokyo. In total, there are around 3,100. But only around 60% or 18 of those are actually being used. Therefore, we could see that there is still a high number of ventilators which were not being actually used at that point. The same is also, for example, for ECMO facilities. In Japan, overall, there are around 1,500 ECMOs. Within Tokyo, there are 200, but some 170 or so of these are actually not being used at this point. Therefore, it could be said that there is rather some capacity in regards to what are not necessarily official ICU beds, but those which do have the functionality or equipment as equivalent. ありがとうございます。はい。
すいません。
Thank you very much.
はい。で、先ほど実は東京のその陽性者の内訳を、はい、お示しましたけど、まあ、4000人以上の今感染者がいるうち、その重症な人は100人ぐらいなんですよね。ですから、まあ、大体各データ見ても大体 5% が重症になってくるようなんですけど、まあ、もちろんこれ入院時のデータですから、この後重症化してくる人はもちろんいるわけですけど、まあ、それほど重症化率は今のところ高くないというふうに思っています。で、ね。
And so also, as we mentioned in the presentation, there are some 4,000 or so cases of confirmed COVID-19 infections in Tokyo. Of these, only around 100 are seen to be serious cases or seriously ill cases as well. Therefore, we can see that this is quite a low proportion in regards to that. Of course, these are the figures at the time of being hospitalized, so there are some cases where their condition may worsen afterwards.
先生、メディアなんかではもう今にも東京は医療崩壊だというような報道が多いんですが、 じゃあ今のお話では実際はそこまで本当にそのギリギリの状況にまだもちろん気をつけなきゃいけないにしてもそこまでの状況ではないというのが東京医師会としての認識なんですが、例えばたまたまそういう病院がいくつかあるかもしれないけれども、全体としてはまだそういう状況ではないという、そういう理解でよろしいんでしょうか。
So overall, we are seeing often reported in the media that the medical system in Tokyo is very much on the brink of imminent collapse of the medical system. So of course, this is an issue which does need caution. However, I would like to ask your perspective and that of the Tokyo Medical Association, if indeed overall in Japan, the medical and health system is on the brink of collapse, or if it may be the case where some hospitals and some facilities may be in such a situation, but overall the situation is being held up.
先生、ちょっと待っていただけませんか？見せることあるので、はい。それは今日のジャパンタイムズのヘッドラインなんですけど、Healthcare system nears brink of collapse. So that's the kind of thing that Teddy is talking about now. どうぞ、すいません。
実は先ほど示したCOVID-19 の患者さんで重症になってくる人、これの、受け入れ体制、とりあえず、まだというか、ちょっと余裕はもちろんあって大丈夫です。80% 以上になってますけどね。ただ問題は、その一般救急なんですよ。つまり、肺炎とかでその入院が必要な人っていくらでもいるんです。で、その人を入院を普通の、1時、2時っていう、2時、3時っていう病院で受け付けるときに、その人が COVID-19 か否かが分かんないんですよ。そうすると、感染してれば感染者の病室、感染してなければそうでない一般病室になるんですけど、分からないので、個室に収容しかできない。そうしたときに結果出るのはそこで、個室とは数もないので、そこでちょっと普通の患者さん、つまり COVID じゃない、まだは COVID かもしれない、そういった一般の人を受け入れているところが、今ちょっと大変なんです。その部分が今どっちかというと、かなり緊迫しています。
And so I think that the significant point there as well is in regards to COVID-19 confirmed patients who are seriously ill, there is still some capacity or still some room in that situation. But what is the issue being faced currently within the health and medical system is general emergency cases. For example, there are any number of people who may need hospitalization for pneumonia, for example. However, it is not possible, of course, initially to determine whether indeed they are infected with COVID-19 or not on this first, second, third wave, and so on as well. Therefore, not being sure initially whether the patients are indeed COVID-19 patients or not means that it is very difficult to treat them. And this is leading to significant challenges and indeed a quite desperate situation within hospitals in Tokyo.
Thank you, Sensei. We're going to go to our first online questioner. This will be Rocky Swift, who is with Reuters. Rocky, over to you, your question.
Thank you, Dr. Kakata. If I may ask two short questions. One is, Japan still has a relatively low number of fatalities for this sickness, around 415, I think, was the latest figure. However, there has been some speculation that there might be some hidden deaths from people who may be stuck at home, or deaths that may have been mischaracterized, misapplied to pneumonia or influenza. So I was wondering if the doctor could comment on where those other deaths could be. And second, if you could comment on what sorts of treatments and drugs are being used amongst doctors in Tokyo, and if there's any particular drugs or treatments that they are reporting to you as being particularly promising. Thank you.
はい、ロイターズの記者で2つほど質問があります。まず1つ目の方が、日本ではまだ死亡者の数が415ほどというふうに報告されているんですけれども、比較的にまだ低いというふうに言われていますが、この数に含まれていない、例えば通常のインフルエンザですとか肺炎で亡くなっている方で、本当は新型コロナウイルスだけれども、まだ確認もされていない、この数には含まれていないということがあるんじゃないかということも言われています。それについて、その死亡者数は、本当にどういう状況になっているのかについてのコメントをお願いします。そして2つ目の方なんですけれども、現在東京の中で使われている治療ですとか、薬など、新型コロナウイルスの患者さんに対して使われている薬などでどういうものがあるのか、そしてその中で報告されている治療の中で、 非常に有効であるテストが今後期待できるものがあるかどうかについて教えてください。
はい、まず最初の質問の方からお答えします。確かにそういう事例はあるかと思います。特にお年寄りで肺炎とかで亡くなって、それが本当に COVID-19 でないのかというのはあると思います。で、この検査については一応やってるところもありますけど、確かに今のそのPCR の状況でやっぱりやってないところもあります。ですから、ちょっと否定はできません。ただ、やっぱりもし COVID-19 が主な原因で亡くなっているんであれば、死亡数は増えてるはずなんですよ。で、それは探知できますから。ただ、それほどその診断がついてない症例で、たくさんの方が亡くなっているという実は報告が出てません。ですから、ある程度可能性はあるかもしれないけど、それが大きくこの400いくつっていう数に影響しているとは思いません。
So first of all, to respond to your first question, I believe that it is likely that indeed there are some cases, for example, elderly patients who are passing away in what is diagnosed as from pneumonia, for example, where it's not certain whether indeed they are impacted or infected with COVID-19 or not. There are some cases where tests are being conducted to determine this. However, of course, considering the overall situation of PCR testing, it cannot be denied that some of these cases indeed are going forward without having been reported as COVID-19 and therefore not counted within the COVID-19 fatalities in Japan. This is something that we cannot deny. However, at the same time, if COVID-19 indeed were having a very significant impact on the number of deaths, or indeed a significant number of people were passing away as a result of this, the overall number of deaths from these kinds of diseases, and so we would see an increase, a very rapid increase in that. However, within what we are hearing at the moment, we do not hear that there are significant increases in the number of deaths from these other kinds of diseases and so on. Therefore, while there are some cases which are being missed in this reporting, I would not say that there is a significant impact in the overall number of COVID-19 deaths.
あと、2つ目の質問にお答えします。治療薬についてです。まだ残念ながら、きちっと認められたものはありませんが、やはりかなり有効だなと思われるのが、アビガン、ファミピラビルです。でこれはかなりこれによって、兆候、すごく効いて治ったという事例もあります。ただ、まだ手探りの状態でいろんな薬と一緒に使っている状態ですから、アビガン自身だけが効いているかどうかというのは、ちょっとわかりませんが、感覚的には、これアビガン効いてますね。でもう一つは、オルベスコ、吸入の喘息の薬です。これは、このデータが出てるんですけど、感染して、その呼吸器管理になる危険を半分にします。50%。ですから、これは重症化予防で一つ重症です。もう一つ、商品名でフォイパンっていう薬で、よく膵炎なんかに使う薬なんですけど、この薬が、ご存知と思います、TMPRSS2 っていう、その酵素が活性化されると、COVID のウイルスが2.5 倍入りやすくなって、8倍広がりやすくなるというのがあります。ですから、この、TMPRSS2 を抑制するのが、この実はフォイパンっていうカルママ、ちょっと一般名忘れました、の薬です。ですから、かかった後で、重症化予防のためにこれを投与するということは極めて有効な治験だと思います。この3つは今のところ進んでます、治験が。
So at the moment, in regards to the second question, there are not any drugs at this moment for treating COVID-19 which have been confirmed as being useful, where the research and so on has progressed to a point that we can definitely say that they are useful. But what is initially being seen as very promising is indeed Avigan. We are seeing in some cases, particularly those cases with mild symptoms and so on, that this has been very useful, where they're being used for this. And we can see that there is indeed promising in regards to Avigan. However, what must be said is this is not being used on its own. It is also being used in combination with other treatment and other drugs and so on as well. Therefore, whether it is only Avigan itself, which is being useful for this, or whether it is Avigan in combination and so on, is something that we do need to look into further. However, as an overall impression, I would say that Avigan does indeed seem very useful and promising for the treatment of COVID-19. There are two other particular drugs which it's still early days, but which are seeing some effects which are promising as well. One is Orvesco, which is something which is usually used for asthmatic symptoms. We are seeing that if this is used in an early stage before patients are becoming seriously ill, it can help to around half the respiratory difficulties that patients are facing as well. And the third is also one which is used to repress TMPRSS2, which is one of the things which is seen in COVID-19. And this is seen as having around an 80% suppression of the expansion of this as well in the case. This is known on the market as すいません、先生、ポイパンというのでよろしいですか？
一般名、商品名、フォイパン。
ポイパン。And the general consumer name of this is ポイパン. So these are the three drugs which are seen as promising for treatment of COVID-19 at this point.
Thank you very much. Our next question is from Patrick Welter of the German media organization FAZ. Patrick, you're on mute.
Wait a minute.
Do you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Kakuta Sensei, I would like to ask two questions. First of all, you were talking about the first wave and the second wave. And you mentioned that the second wave is imported by tourists or people coming from outside the country. But there seems to be another argument that due to the nice hot weather in the end of March and the 3-day holiday period over there and the cherry blossom, that was the reason for the rise in infections coming up later. I would like to ask you to clarify, what do you mean by second wave? Is the second wave just imported, or does it come because Japanese people didn't follow any social distancing rules any longer end of March? And my second question, you mentioned a small number test with antibody tests seeming to show, you said 12 to 13% of the population are infected by the coronavirus virus. I would like to ask you to talk a little bit more about that study, because in Germany there is another small study showing more or less the same degree of the same ratio of coronavirus in the general population. For that reason, I'm very much interested in this specific study, even if it's not at final stage, please.
はい、ドイツの FAZ の記者です。2つ質問あります。まず1つ目の方は第1波と2波という話が先ほどあったんですけれども、2波の方が欧米からっていうような話があったんですけれども、もう一つ考えられるのは、やはり3月末にあと3連休の時に、天気が暖かくなって、それで桜も咲いて、多くの人たちがソーシャルディスタンシングという、ルールをですね、守らずに外出していたということが、この増加につながったということも考えられます。それについてその第2波というのは、やはり海外から帰国した人たちがたくさんいたから増えたということなのか、日本の人たちがソーシャルディスタンシングを守らなかったからその増加が見られたのかについての見解をお願いします。そして2つ目の質問の方が先ほど抗体テストで 13% ほどの人たちが実は感染されているという話があったと思うんですけれども、その調査、そのデータはまだ最終的なものでないにしてもですね、ドイツでは実際に最近かなり似たような数字を出した調査が報告されています。同じぐらいの感染者数が一般の人口の中にいるというふうにドイツでは最近報告されているんですけれども、そのデータ、そしてその調査についてもう少し教えていただけますでしょうか。お願いします。
はい。まず最初の質問にお答えいたします。第1波、武漢から入ってきたやつは、見ると収まってるんです。で、第2波が来て、で、決して欧米だけじゃなくて、外国からだと思うんですけど、実は第1波の感染がずっと少し、少数ですけど、蔓延したことが実は疑われています。で、それが、実は、その夜、ちょっとあれですけど、夜夜なんかに日本ではそういう、密接な場所でお酒を飲んだり、とか会話をすることが結構好きな民族なので、ドイツもそうかもしれませんが、ここでの感染がずっと持続してた。で、そのグループから第2波の時に増えたんじゃないか。で、そこへ海外から来た波と合わさって、ああいうふうな2つ目のあれになりました。波になったと思います。で、ご指摘のようにやっぱり3月の連休は少し皆さん気持ちが緩んで、あの時結構出てました。だからそれが持続した感染と外から来た感染がその3月の波に一緒に乗っかって、そして今の状態になっているというふうに思います。
So to respond to the first question, indeed, when we referred to the first wave, which was the infections which came directly from Wuhan, it is thought that overall that first wave was largely contained. The second wave, I would like to confirm that it's not only the cases of returnees or those who are coming from the West or other parts of the world, of course. It's not limited only to Europe and the US. But indeed, it was a combination of returnees or cases which were coming in from outside of the country, as well as cases which were lingering, we could say, from the first case we could say many Japanese people have a tendency to gathering in the evenings in small closed spaces to drink and talk and so on. Perhaps that's not only Japan, perhaps Germans also have similar tendencies and so on as well. But we could see the combination with these cases which are coming in from the outside together with the cases which lingered from the first wave as a result, indeed, of these actions and not respecting social distancing during that time as well. This was indeed coinciding with the period of the long weekend at the end of March, as was mentioned, which is when many people were going outside, were not being so strict about the measures and so on as well. Therefore, we could see the combination of both the increase from outside, from returnees and so on, as well as the increase from within Japan, community spread and so on, combining to lead to the situation we are facing now.
Thank you.
あと2つ目の質問にお答えしていいですか。さっき 13% って言ったのは、一般ではなくて、一応医師、ですね、特にドクターの間で、ちょっと市場ちっちゃな検査ですが、やったときに 13% 近い陽性率がありました。で、やっぱり一般は 6% かそれ以下じゃないかと思います。で、やはり抗体検査というのは、後から感染率を見るのは非常に有効だと思います。ですから、これから感染初期にはね、あまり有効性はちょっと高くないんですけど、これからしっかりと抗体検査はして、そしてどのぐらいかかってたのかとかね、それは極めて重要だと思います。で、ちょっとこの冒頭にお話しましたけど、ヨーロッパであれだけ感染率、死亡者数が多い中で、本当にドイツは素晴らしい成果を実は残していると思います。で、それはホームドクターがしっかりと軽症を見ると。で、中等症以上しか病院は見ないという、こういう住み分けをちゃんとやっていることが、結局は医療制度を守っていると思いますので、日本はぜひこれを見習って、しっかりとそういった形にしたいと思います。以上です。
And in regards to the second question, the number of 13%, which was referred to, was actually not referring to the general population, but actually to doctors or those medical professionals, doctors, and so on. So I would say that probably the overall number that we could expect within the general population of Japan, around the 6%, is around the number which I think would be accurate. This number for doctors also was the antibody test, so that is referring to those who have contracted COVID-19 at some point as well. Of course, antibody tests are very useful for indicating later on whether someone has at some stage been infected with the novel coronavirus. It's not so useful in the early stages of infection. However, for having an overall picture of indeed how many infections there has been, it is very useful. Therefore, I think increasing the number of antibody tests as well to have an overall picture of the situation will be important from now as well.
Thank you very much.
I would also like to add, in regards to the situation which was shown in a slide about the mortality rates in Europe, we could see that Germany has been very successful in this respect in keeping the fatality numbers very low, despite the very high number of detected cases as well. I think that what contributed to that success in Germany is the fact that the home doctor system is very much functioning. So those people with only mild symptoms could consult with and refer to their home doctors, and hospitals were reserved for those with more serious symptoms. I think that this is what also succeeded in protecting overall the medical system from collapse. So this is very much what I hope that we can learn from here in Japan and implement in a similar way.
Thank you very much. We're pushed for time, so I'm going to ask the people who are waiting to ask questions if you would limit it to one, if that's possible. Next up is Pio D'Emilia. He is with Sky Television in Italy. Pio, it's all yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor, for being with us. I have 1.5 questions. Actually, one has been already answered by you before. The first one, most important one, is provided that Japan has chosen from the very beginning to make very few tests, and it still keeps going on this strategy. What do you think about this strategy? Do you agree that this is the right way of doing it? Or else maybe chance of increasing it like we do in Italy, 50,000 or 60,000 a day? And besides that, do you think as a doctor, as a physician, that there is also the right for a patient to satisfy even just the fear of being sick? In other words, should be possible, in theory, of course, that everybody that feel like, just because they are afraid, but they are scared, to have a test, possibly even paying for it, but having a test without going into all this nightmarish process that we have been explaining before. And the second one, very short, you have already asked about this. answered about this. Regarding the Avigan, I just want to understand whether this drug has been officially approved in Japan or is still under scrutiny and is given under the so-called system of compassion administration. Thank you very much.
はい、イタリアのスカイテレビのピオと申します。2つほど質問があります。まず1つは PCR 検査についてなんですけれども、日本は初期からですね、検査を限定するっていう戦略で、方針でやってきたと思うんですけれども、その検査今でも限定すべきなのか、かなり数の少ない検査を行うべきなのか、もしくはそれをもっと拡大すべきなのかっていう先生の見解を教えてください。その日本の方針が今後も正しいかどうかということです。もしくはイタリアのように1日に5万も6万もPCR 検査を行うべきなのかということがまず最初の質問です。そしてそれにつながることなんですけれども、やはり医師としてですね、例えば症状がなくても、やはり患者さんが不安になったときに、その PCR 検査を受ける権利があるかどうかということですね。やはりその不安だからこそ自分を受けたいというふうに思ったとき、物理的にそれが本当にその数の検査が可能かどうかという問題はあるかもしれないんですけれども、論理的に患者さんにその権利があるというふうに思うかどうかというのが、二つ目です。そして最後の方なんですけど、またアビガンについての質問なんですけれども、日本の状況を確認させていただきたいんですが、公式にアビガンは新型コロナウイルスの患者さんに使うことが、認定されているかどうか、それともそれはまだ本当に検討されている最中なのか、その状況について教えてください。
はい、まず最初の PCR 検査の数についてです。冒頭、当初第1波に対しての、クラスターの対策としては、絞った形。私はこれは正解だったと思います。ただ、もう現時点では少なくともパンデミック、蔓延期ですから、やはり必要な方はやるべきだというふうに思います。ただ、その時、やはり医学的に、つまり私どもちゃんと医師がちゃんと診察した上で、それで医学的に必要な人にやると。つまり重症化を疑われたり、基礎疾患を持ってたり、これから COVID によって重症化するかもしれない人たちをしっかりと管理するためにやるべきというふうに思っております。ですから、増やすことは賛成といいますか、そう思います。
So to respond to the first part of the question about the number of PCR tests, I believe that initially, during the initial wave, the cluster approach and having a limited number of PCR tests was correct at that time. However, now it is, of course, a pandemic. It is prevalent as well. Therefore, I believe that all who do need to have a PCR test should have it available, that their tests should be increased. I would say with the caveat that this should be after having consulted with a doctor and having a medical decision that indeed they should have a PCR test done. However, for all those people who, for example, may develop symptoms or may become ill from COVID-19, then indeed tests should be conducted. Therefore, I do agree that there needs to be an expanded number of the PCR tests conducted.
2つ目の質問にお答えします。確かに患者さんは自分の治療を受ける権利はあります。ただ、やはりそれが闇雲に PCR 検査を受ける権利とは考えていません。逆に受けることによってのデメリットがあると思います。例えば偽陰性とかその他のことがあると思いますので、やはりきちっと医師、つまり専門家の判断のもと、受ける必要があれば受けてもらいます。で、一つは不安を持っている方、これはぜひ専門家とコンサルテーションをさせていただいて、私たちがその相談を受ける役になっているわけです。で、ちゃんと説明をして、あなたはこういうことだから少し家で様子見ましょうとか心配ないですよと話をする。それだけで終わっちゃう方は実はすごく多いです。ですからこの辺は今私の言ったことに私どもはのっとって進んでおります。
And in the second part of that question, as for the right of patients, of course, patients do have a right to treatment, but I do not necessarily think that always the right to treatment should be necessarily the right to undertake the test as well. There are some cases where actually having a test may have demerits for the patient as well. Therefore, I think that the test should be conducted upon following consultation with a doctor. And there are actually many cases where when a patient may feel anxiety or may feel concerned, that if they consult with a doctor and are able to talk it through and discuss this with them, that actually that can resolve the issue as well. Of course, the role of the doctor is not only treatment, but it is also this kind of consultation with patients as well. So I agree that the right to treatment should be there, but the actual testing should be done upon the judgment of a medical professional or a doctor.
And also, as a example of demerit, he mentioned the cases of false negative. He just mentioned that, so I want to add that. Okay.
Thank you.
The Avigan question.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the Avigan question.
そう、3つ目ですね。アビガンはまだ公式には認められておりません。ですから政府が使っていいよとは言ってません。ただ、もうすでにいくつか多くの施設でそれを使いたいという申請をすれば OK で、迅速に許可が出て使うという体制になっています。ただ、近いうちに多分アビガン、国が認めて使えるようになるかと思います。
And in regards to Avigan, this is not officially approved yet within Japan by the national government. However, there are actually many cases where it is indeed being treated, and this permission is being given on a case-by-case basis by application, saying that it is wanted to be used as well. And I believe that it will be very soon that it will indeed be officially approved by the government as well.
Thank you. Sensei, we're officially out of time. ちょっと時間がなくなったんですけど、ちょっと延長してお願いできますでしょうか。5分ぐらい。
大丈夫です。
すいません。So the next question is from Hirofumi Nakano, who is with Office Liberté.
We may have lost Nakano-san.
We've lost him?
Why don't we go to
All right. Well, if Nakano-san, if you're there and you want to come back, you have a couple of minutes. Hiroshi Hiyama of AFP. You're up next.
聞こえますでしょうか。
Go ahead.
AFP 通信の檜山と申します。よろしくお願いします。日本語でお願いいたします。Hiroshi Hiyama from AFP. I'll speak in Japanese if I may. 緊急事態宣言について先生のご意見を伺いたいと思います。一部のアメリカやヨーロッパのエリアと違ってですね、日本のこの現在の状況は法的な強制力が伴わないようなルールというかシステムになっております。この緊急事態宣言をしたということで、この感染症についてどのような影響があった、もしくはなかったというふうに先生思われていらっしゃいますでしょうか。それとまたこれが延長されるということだと思いますけれども、緊急事態をやめるというときには、どのようなデータをガイドとして、その結論に至るべきだというふうに思われますでしょうか。よろしくお願いします。
I would like to ask your opinion in regards to the emergency declaration or declaration of the state of emergency. There is, of course, a difference in the state of emergency in Japan where it does not have a legal enforcement as compared to other countries such as the US or parts of Europe. Therefore, I would like to ask your personal opinion on what impact this declaration of a state of emergency either did or did not have on the overall number of cases that we are experiencing. Also, it is likely that the state of emergency will be extended. I would like to ask what you believe, what kind of data and information should be used as a guide to conclude when the state of emergency should be lifted.
はい、まず緊急事態宣言は、有効だと思います。ただ、医学的に見ると、つまり経済的なことを無視して、私はもう少し早く出してもよかったんではないかと思っています。で、そこで新規感染者等の見ますと、約1週間ぐらい前に小池知事が実はそういう近い宣言を出して、でそれの効果もすでに少しずつも出始めて、そしてさらに安倍首相が出して、で、ずっとやっぱり行動制限って言いますか、落ちてると思います。で、これはやはり日本の国民が、そういったやっぱり、なんていうかな、神の言うことを信じるっていうか、みんなで一緒にやろうっていう性質を持ってるんだと思います。ですから、ちょっと法的な強制力を持たない形でも、私はこれ十分有効に今、作用しているというふうに思っております。
So first of all, in regards to the effectiveness of the statement of emergency declaration, I do believe that it has been effective. Of course, this is from a medical standpoint. If we look at it from an economic standpoint, it would have a different evaluation of the impacts. But if we look at the medical situation, I believe that actually it should have even been declared earlier. We could see, for example, from when Governor Koike made her request 1 week earlier, there was already some kind of impact being seen as a result of that. Then after Prime Minister Abe made his declaration and there was even more limitation of movement and so on, we did see indeed an impact as a result of that. I think the Japanese people also do, tend to believe and follow the instructions that come from above, that come from the government, as well to follow what others are doing, to stick with the crowd, shall we say, as well. Therefore, even if there is not this legal enforcement, it is indeed having an impact.
それと2つ目の、今後どうやってこれをリリースするかっていう話ですけど、これは確かに難しくて、感染から発症までの、潜伏期間、5日から12、3日ですけど、効果が現れるのがやっぱり2週間ぐらい先なんですよね。ですから、やっぱり数を見ながら、どっかで緩めていかなければいけないと思います。その時にまた第2波、第3波が必ず来るので、それを早期に探知して、また少し経済の、自粛を求めるというような形の、やっぱりそういう長い戦いにやっぱなると思います。ですから、この辺はちょっと専門家の人たちからの話も出ると思いますけど、と思います。以上です。
And in regards to the second question as to when to release the situation of emergency, this is indeed a very difficult judgment and a difficult question. If we look at the latent period of the new novel coronavirus, we see that it's up to sort of 12, 13 days. Therefore, it will be about 2 weeks before any change is really shown in the data in the number of cases which are being confirmed as well. We can also expect that we are likely to see second and third waves and so on in the future as well. So what will be important is to detect those at a very early stage so the action can be taken as well. However, when we consider these aspects, I think that we will indeed be looking at quite an extended or long situation in regards to this.
Thank you very much, Sensei. We're out of time, unfortunately. So I will just ask one question, which I think the answer will be obvious to many, I believe. Golden Week looms, a national holiday week, of course, in Japan. Presumably, your advice to people is to stay at home?
これが最後の質問になるんですけれども、間もなく日本はゴールデンウィークの休日に入りますが、先生の日本の皆さんに対するメッセージというのは、やはりステイホームということでよろしいでしょうか。
はい、小池知事もですね、ステイホームウィークにしてくださいって言っております。さっき最後に私も示したのは、やはり新規の感染者を作らない、増やさない、これは最も重要な対策ですから、ステイホーム、ステイアクティブ、ステイポジティブ、これはしかも家にいても、やっぱり今後のことをしっかりと見せて明るく過ごしましょうというメッセージを最後にさせていただきたいと思います。
Yes, indeed, as Governor Koike has also been calling for, this should be seen as a stay-home week. As I mentioned as well, what is most vital at the moment is to ensure that we don't have any new infections, that there are no new cases as well. So as I showed in the last slide of my presentation, my final message for everybody is to stay home, but not only that, while you are staying home, stay active and stay positive.
Thank you very much. Well, I think we could have a long conversation about what staying active at home means, but let's leave that for another day. Thank you so much to Dr. Toru Kakuta. He's the Vice President of the Tokyo Medical Association. Thanks to my co-chair, Teddy Jimbo, over here. Thanks also, as always, to Mary Joyce for her fantastic smooth interpretation, and to all the technicians here in the room who you cannot see who have made this possible. It has been a struggle to get these press conferences off the ground, and we're very glad that they've happened. Please tune in to the next one. Thank you so much. And I think that's it, Teddy, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
お疲れ様です。